Anyway,
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well now. Today I've got a very special guest, one of my favourite people on Twitter, one of my favourite content
oh,
creators. I'm joined by John Sinclair, who is a big Newcastle fan. And today I thought we could preview the game a bit early. I am going on the show this week as well, so it'll be good to chat with him again there. But John, thank you so much for coming on my channel today. How are you doing?
good evening to you, Sophie, you and chatters, and thank you so much for having on your wonderful channel. And you know what? You're such a talent, you really are, and you and Macy as well. And yes, it's been a fantastic day today. Just working hard as always, and looking forward to the game Saturday.
Yeah, it will definitely be a really interesting one for sure. I just wanted to say hi to Guna Gathering. Lovely to see you in the chat as
Booyah,
always.
Guna.
And yeah, I think this will be a good chat. I wanted to start off by talking a bit about Newcastle because, I've noticed you have won a few games recently, but your results aren't probably going the way you want it to. You're
Mm.
currently eighth. Talk to me just about how things are at your club right now.
It's not as good as last season, Sophie, at this moment in
Yeah,
time. But the thing is, one thing I will say, we had a lot of injuries at this moment in time. We had
yeah,
13 players out, and that was between mid-October up until December, right? And the fact is, when you got all those players out, it's so difficult to play your best football because when you do play, we looked absolutely tired. What people have to realise as well, we had the same squad for the last 10 games. Well, near enough 10 games in December. There's unchanged side. We had 3 goalkeepers on the bench. It just got so bad. It really did. One thing I will say, right? I mean, we gave it a go. We give it a go. We look absolutely knackered. And the games we should be beating for likes of Luton, we couldn't beat Luton. We couldn't beat Bournemouth. And there's other games we should have beaten as one as well on paper, and we haven't done that. But key players out, and we only got 2 strikes in the books. That's Callum Wilson and Alex Isak, as you well know. They're both out injured. Isak's out for another couple of weeks. Callum Wilson's going to be out up until close to the end of the season. Joel Linton, so he is a massive, massive miss. I went to the match on Saturday against Bournemouth, and this guy, he is such a miss. And you know what? We got to get him tied down to a new deal. Otherwise, he could go with 12 months left on his contract. Let's be real. But the back four has been really leaky. Dan Burn has been a problem, right? Eddie keeps picking him every week, and he gets exposed every single time. Players like Elanga exposed him. Semenya exposed him. Yeah. Speedy ballers on the right side, they just target him every single time because he's slow. Dan Burn is a centre back by trade. It's not my left back. I
yeah.
mean, Sven Botman, I love Sven Botman, Fabian Shah, I love them as well. They're both great defenders, but they've been caught out by centre forwards, getting bullied as well. And that's unlike them. You know what I mean? We have conceded 20 goals in 7 games. And Sophie, that is not going to get us top 4. That ain't good enough for Newcastle United. I mean, we conceded half of that last season.
Yeah, I have been a bit surprised, like recently as well. I know at the start you were doing good, and you have come to a point where you are starting to get a few more draws. I know the Luton one, it
Mm.
did surprise me because I thought you were going to lose that, and it was good that you came back. But looking on it, it's a game you should be winning. And the same with the Bournemouth one.
Mm.
Do you feel like you're starting to drop points now where you should be really picking them up, even though you have got difficulties like injuries?
Well, we've got a good squad there, so we've got. I mean, but the thing
Mm.
is, like you mentioned about Luton's and Bournemouth as well. If you want to get top 4 football this season, these are the teams you should be beating. I mean, we only picked up a point against Luton, 4-2 down to St James's the other week. Yeah, we've got to beat teams like Luton, and our fan base, some of our fan base celebrating draws, and I don't celebrate draws. I want to win games. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that is the thing. Yeah. And the thing is, right, with Bournemouth, we should have lost that game as well. I mean, Bournemouth missed so many chances. Solanke, Kluivert, and a few others have missed some great chances as well. I mean, if you think about it, right, we should be beating teams like that. And we just conceding goals, soft goals as well. Our defence is leaky. The midfield is soft. Yeah, we haven't got a 6. Eddie Howe, don't play a 6. He has the 3 midfielders going together. We need a 6. You cannot pin a 17-year-old, right, being a number 6. He is a central midfielder. He's not a CDM. Bruno Guimaraes, I like him play further forward, yeah. Can play in CDM, but I prefer to play as number 10. Sean Longstaff, right, God bless him, right. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, right? Yeah. I mean, look, he's got some good goals as well, but at the end of the day, we're badly missing Joel Linton and we're missing Joe Willock as well. We're badly missing those two. And then we'll be winning games because Joe Willock makes those amazing runs in midfield and Joel Linton plays as a 6 and he just makes up the play and he's got legs. He can run with the ball. He can pass the ball as well. He's so strong. He has improved a lot this season, Joel Linton, but under Eddie Howe. But we are missing them as well. We definitely need a right side of midfield. I love Big Almiron, yeah, but he is too inconsistent for me. Too inconsistent now.
Yeah.
His shooting's awful, woeful, goes over the bar. And I don't want to criticise him, Sophie, but as Newcastle fans, we can criticise the player on social media. You get a pile.
Yeah, it's like Arsenal. It's terrible because if you're critical, you're seen as being negative about the club. So you can't win, can you?
Can't win at all. Can't win at all. But I just think at the end of the day, I can't lie. I just think it's, I think got to say how it is. But unfortunately, I mean, I will say it. He's been poor. He's been rubbish. He needs to be dropped. But the one thing we'll never do is hurl personal abuse at a player.
Yeah.
Never in a million years. Would you have an opinion? But don't go over the top.
Yeah, I think as a fan, you've got every right to, say how you feel because that's what being a fan's about. You watch the club, you pay money to watch it, and you should say how you feel. And I do think Newcastle is quite interesting. I think before the season started, I was probably thinking you'd probably maintain that, and we still have a very long way to go. I think you still could get into Europe, get in that position. But for you, you're also in the FA Cup as well. But what would you want as your end goal for this season? Because, like I've said, you could get to the 6th, you could try and get Europe. But what would you want at the end of the season?
For me, I want to win the FA Cup. I mean, look, we got that elite mentality. Yeah, we haven't won an FA Cup since 1955, right? And we haven't won the title since 1927. And the last cup we won was the first cup in 1969. And for a club like Newcastle United, that is a long damn time. We're talking 55 years since we won the trophy, man. And for me, I want to win the FA Cup. But we've got to be Blackburn. Big up Joe, by the way. We've got to be Blackburn Rovers. And, that'd be, if you win that game, I think you can go all the way. Depends on the draw. But knowing the FA or the Premier League, they want us to draw away to Tottenham or Liverpool or Man City. Yeah, that's what they want. They don't want us to win anything. Do you know what I mean? Because they think we're a threat. And that's when and I'm sure you're going to come on to that as well. In the league, I mean, let's be real. We're 8th at the minute. And if we finish 7th, that gets us the Europa Conference, yeah? Personally, if we don't qualify for Europe this season, let's be honest about it, we'll just go again. And then we've got no distractions, absolutely nothing at all. We just want to get the players coming in, right? It's going to push us on for the top 4 next season, or even the top 5. Because at the minute, Sophie, the Champions League is well out of reach. And you know what? Let's be honest. I just think we just have to go for the season. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, we finished here for 9th. Cool, we'd take that despite our injuries. But if we finish 7th, gets us in Europe. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. But if we get our players back, who knows, Soph? We'll see.
Yeah, there's still a long way to go. And I think anything could be possible. I think definitely at the moment, you're in the FA Cup. It'd be really good to see you in that competition because I think for me, Arsenal aren't in it right now, and it would be good to see another team that isn't a City, a Chelsea, a United get to a final. It'd be good to see Newcastle win it, I think, anyway. And I definitely think you can still get top 6, even though it's probably not what you want, because last season you did so well, and it does feel like, it's a bit of a drop off. But I think you've still got a long way to go, and it is difficult to manage those injuries when you've had so many as well. But yeah, I do think Newcastle just need a bit of time, and you are starting to get a few more results come your way, and you are showing that character to fight back in games like the Luton game I watched, and I thought it was really good how Newcastle came back. It's just a shame you couldn't win that one, because Luton, for me, have been a very impressive side this season. Even if they do get relegated, I think they've definitely shown that character and that fight. And I did want to speak about Anthony Gordon, because he has, for me, I think he's done really well from what I've seen. He's really helped you in those important games, and I just want to get your thoughts on him, what you've made of him so far at the club.
For me, if I give him marks out of 10, I'll give him an 8 out of 10 for me. And coming, a lot of people don't want him to be signed because of his reputation. But you know what? The way he's got treated by Everton fans, I think it's an absolute disgrace. That's why he's coming to us. And I've always backed a player where they come to us, give him a chance. And Anthony's done really well for us. He really has. I like his work rate. He tracks us back. He's got some great goals as well. And his attitude at the club is so spot on. He's a fan's favourite. He's our star boy. He's our star boy at the club. You know what I mean? His energy levels is fantastic. He does seem to get injured. I thought he was going to be out the other week without that foot injury, but luckily he came out And Kieran Trippier's looking after him, by the way, because I remember last season when he tried to con the ref for a pen while playing for Everton, and then he came face to face with Trippier. I thought he was going to headbutt and that sort of thing. But you know what? They're best of buddies now, and his attitude is so fantastic. And Anthony Gordon could be a legend at Newcastle United, I think he's great. And he's going to get better, and he's going to get better. He can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can play up front, and he can play anywhere up front. And I just think 45 million quid is worth every penny. But I just wish Gareth Southgate picks him for England. Give the lad a chance, Don't keep playing your favourites. Give this kid a chance, because you know what? It could shock a few people, Anthony Gordon, if he carries on. Yeah. And I love his attitude and Deva, and I think this guy is going to go a heck of a long way. He's only 23, I think. He's 23.
Yeah, he's so young. You don't realise it. You think he's a lot older, don't you? I do anyway.
He does.
I like him. I think, obviously, when we play against you guys, he'll definitely be a player that I think will make it difficult for us. But yeah, I think it's been a really good signing. I think, it's a bit of a weird one with Everton fans. I know he was a really special player for them, but I did feel like they could have treated him a bit better, because I think, he does deserve to be at a club, that are going for trophies, or that are, at that stage where they're trying to compete, especially with you guys of where you've been, the growth in the last few seasons has been absolutely incredible. And I did want to ask you a bit about your manager, Eddie Howe, because I know that there has been a lot of people maybe think about, will he get sacked this season because you've not really had been as good as you were last season, but for you, are you happy with him as your manager for the next couple of seasons?
100%. I mean, Eddie Howe is a young manager, right? I mean, he's coming, and people think he's not a big name manager, he's not a sexy manager, it's going to take us further, do you know what I mean? But for me, right, I mean, I was going to give him a chance, and he's done fantastic. He's got us out of relegation, got us 11th. The following season, he's got us 4th, and he's been unlucky with injuries as well. The thing is, right, I mean, I'm getting a lot of people telling me, non-Newcastle fans, saying that Eddie Howe needs to be moved on because he's not a big enough name. Go for the elite manager. I can only think of 5 elite managers in my head, and that is Pep, Klopp, Jose, Simeone, and Ancelotti, yeah? And you can add people like Simone Inzaghi in there. He's done fantastic in Inter Milan. You can add Hansi Flick as well. Nagelsmann as well. He's an elite manager as well, young elite manager coming through. For me, who's going to come, right? I'll ask people a question now. Who's going to come to Newcastle United if Eddie Howe gets sacked? Are you going to get the money? Remember, FFP, PSRs and players, yeah? They were on 200 mil, yeah? Because they absolutely handcuffed us and other clubs do as well because you only spend what's coming in. Eddie Howe is a perfect manager for Newcastle United. I love him, yeah? Great attitude. His face fits here, right? Plays attacking football as well. My only concern about Eddie Howe is he keeps picking the favourites, yeah? For the likes of Dan Burn, Miguel Miron, Sean Longstaff. He needs to change it up. He needs to make some changes in there, yeah? I mean, what does Tino Livramento have to do to get into that team? What does he really have to do? Because this guy is brilliant. How can you just give him 20 minutes? What can he do in 15, 20 minutes? Not a lot. Not a lot, yeah? Then we need a goal against Bournemouth in the 90th minute, yeah? And it goes and play Matt Ritchie. Luckily, he scored. But, you know what I mean? But what I'm going to say, for me...
Yeah, I agree. I don't really disagree with that. I think I think in football when results don't go their way, they do get questioned, and I think it's just part of football really. And I agree. Like as someone outside of Newcastle, I think he's definitely going to help you in your future, and I think he is your future. And I think he just needs time. You know, you're kind of rebuilding again. You've got some really good players you've brought in, and I think you just need time. Managers just need time, but football fans don't really want to give people time.
Exactly. And the thing is, I mean, Eddie, again, people tell him this and say, have a conversation with other elite managers, better managers, yeah? They think Eddie Howe's not going to get us a trophy. They need an elite manager there, yeah? But I'm getting people now saying, to me, next season's going to be a massive for Eddie Howe. He needs to get us in the top 4. Yes, he's been unlucky this season. They're going to buy him that. But next season, if we haven't got European football next season, then I do feel he's got to get us in that top 4 next season. No ifs, no buts. Or the PIF are going to find someone else who can get us there. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know how to do that. Are they sacking owners? Do they sack their managers quickly? Do they give managers time? For me, so far, Eddie's been there for what? Just over 2 years now. And it seems to me that he's given so much time. And I think that's good because you kind of sack managers left, right, and centre, you know, like Sunderland's done. Sunderland's there's the 11th manager they had today since Rafa Benitez disappointed.
Yeah, you've got to give managers time. Like I know Arsenal, if you look back at Arteta, you know, it did feel like, was it the right thing to give him time because of where we were then? And it just shows you that it does pay off. I mean, Eddie Howe could probably take you further, and whether or not he could win you something, that I hope he does win you success, especially the FA Cup. Like I've said, I think it's nice to see other teams, you know, not just us, not just Man City. It's nice to see a few other teams, you know, up there, because we always see Man City win stuff, and I get bored of it. I want other teams to win stuff, and it's a bit sad how that football is now, because we've seen Man City, you know, win titles for season after season. So I think it's always lovely to see other teams do that. And I did want to touch on Arsenal before we go on to the game, but you know, in the title race at the moment it is quite competitive. I know Man City have got a game in hand, but Arsenal are currently sat in second place, a few points behind Liverpool. For you, do you reckon Arsenal have what it takes to overtake Liverpool in the title race?
They got to do it this season. I really feel you have to win it this season. I think Mikel, and I don't want to say this, I think he could be in the spot above. He doesn't win you a title, but he needs to win you the title trophy. Should have won it last season. But I look at the table now, right? I mean, you said they got a game in hand. I think for the first time, this can go to the wire. And I'm not going to write off Man City, because what they do, they start well, they drop off a bit, and then they just whoosh, go for it, yeah? I mean, Kevin De Bruyne is going to make a difference in that for that team. I think he's going to make a difference. Now he's back. I think he's going to do it. Arsenal, for you, you need a striker badly. You need a striker big time. And you need, for me, I would have gone after Ivan Toney in the January window, and that would have possibly won you the title, yeah? Liverpool's got injuries now, yeah? Don't write them off. Never out of Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp. is going to find a way, and you always find a way. And for me, I can't pick a winner at the minute. I mean,
It's hard, isn't it?
I know. I feel you've got to beat City at Etihad. You must.
Yeah.
You have to win at the Etihad. If you do that, then for me, you got to be in the conversation. If you win at Etihad and you don't win the title, then there's got to be questions there. There's got to be questions.
Yeah, because people have said, if Arteta doesn't win anything this season, should he go? And I do get why people ask that because, since he's been here, if you look at the success we've had, we've only won an FA Cup. I think we might have won 2 Community Shields, but we've not really won anything like a league title or a Champions League. And I think last season was a really incredible season because that is where Arsenal should be. And to see us really, I know it really was how it ended, wasn't what we wanted, but I think I reflect on that as a good season, but it is a season that we should have really got silverware. And this season's quite interesting because we have started off quite slow. Obviously, before the players went out to Dubai to have a little bit of a break, we were really struggling to score goals, and now we can't stop scoring. It's like the Arsenal from last season that we're seeing. So I think it is really tough. I mean, at the moment, I would love Arsenal to win the league, but I just couldn't predict it because Liverpool, Klopp's last season, they'll want them to win the league for him, and that to be a great send off. And Man City, like you said, with De Bruyne, he is so good. Him and Haaland have this incredible chemistry on the pitch. So I think for me, I definitely think it will go down to the end, and I think I would like that to happen. Even if Arsenal don't win the league, it'll be massively disappointing. But I think if it goes down to the end, I think, I can be happy with the fact that we have competed with the 2 big teams.
Yeah, I've got to kind of agree. You know what I mean? It's got to be exciting. You can't let Man City run away with it. Otherwise, the season will be over before it even started. You know what I mean? And also, they're going to win a title of 4 games to go. And then what can you do? But I want it to be exciting. I mean, I want to get to the end and anything can happen. Can you imagine 3 teams are in the title race on the last day of the season? The last day of the season, man. You just can't pick a winner. It all depends who wants it, really. And you know what? And who plays at home. If you play at home and you're top of the table, that makes you favourites, and then that gets you the title. I mean, I don't know what your running is like, but it looks favourable at the minute for you guys. You've got to play at the Etihad. You've got to play at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as well, Spurs Stadium. And I tell you what, I think you'll beat Tottenham. I believe you'll beat Tottenham. And, if you get 4 points out of those 2 games, then you're in the conversation.
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, I think the Man City game, I think it's on the 31st of March. That, for me, will kind of make me decide, if we can win the title. I think if we beat Man City at their place, I think I'll be quietly confident that we can do it. But like you said, I think we've still got United to play. I know United this season haven't been great, but it's always, a difficult fixture in that one. So, and Tottenham away, we did get a result there last season, but it is always a difficult one. I do hope we can win it, but I think now that we've started to win games and teams have dropped some points, I think it puts us in a good position. Obviously, Chelsea helping us at the weekend does help us. So, yeah, like you said, I think it's exciting for everyone watching it. If it does go down to the end, I think it will make me dead nervous. I'll be really hoping we can, but I think it's really exciting with the title race. And I did want to speak a bit about Declan Rice because I know against West Ham he obviously scored that incredible goal. Him in the set pieces, he was really incredible. And when we bought him, it was 100 million, and at the time I thought it is a lot of money. Is he worth it? And now looking back, would you say he has been worth every penny?
100%. I mean, I've always read Declan Rice. I mean, when he first played in the Premier League, who did he play against? Newcastle United, when he gave the ball away in a 3-0 defeat. And then he was grown, and then he played and learned like a guy. Declan Rice, for me, that guy's all action. He can pass, he can tackle, and he takes the game as well. And if you are going to win, he's the guy who's going to have to be more tight in the game. Whether we've got the players to do it, I have no idea. I think Bruno could be that man to do it. If you had Joe Linton, I think he would have gave Declan Rice a game. But I tell you what, Declan Rice, massive fan of him. I would have loved him to come up to Newcastle United. Do you know what I mean? Whatever the cost is. But unfortunately, Arsenal got there first.
Yeah.
And he is going to be a stellar. He's 26 years of age, 6'1", right? And you know what? He's just absolutely fantastic. Declan English, I'll call him. Declan English. And he is, I mean, I was just so impressed. And I'll tell you what, he should be England captain as well because he is that good. And long may it continue. I think if you're going to win the title, it'll be down to him as well. And you got to stop him from playing because you let him play or you let him dictate the game with his passing, then I think Newcastle's going to be in the spot of bother. But what he'll do, he'll probably pass up Paul Saka every single time to take on Dan Burn. And Eddie's got to make that change. If he plays Dan Burn and lose that game and he has a torrid time, I think Eddie's going to get ripped a good one on social media. I won't be.
Yeah, I think I do think obviously you can be grateful for what a manager's done, but I think the team selection is a massive thing because I know with Arsenal, like you said, with Saka especially, his confidence is growing so much at the moment. He started to really pick up his form and score a lot of goals, and there were a lot of our players have. And I think, I definitely think the game at the weekend is. I think obviously we have Porto on Wednesday, and it'd be interesting to see if we go out strong. I think it is hard. We're getting to that stage where in the Champions League, I want to see us go far. I want us to see us, probably get to the semi-finals, quarterfinals. And I want us to focus on the league too, because there's two. I think for me, the Champions League would be absolutely incredible to win it. But I think realistically, I feel like the title is probably, a bit, favourable for us to win it, even though Liverpool are ahead of us. But yeah, I think it will be a tough game at the weekend. And I did want to answer Harry's question about how do you feel about Timber coming back. And obviously, when you last came on, we spoke about Timber. He did his ACL, and I think we've managed okay without him because we've obviously got the likes of Tomiyasu, we've got Ben White doing really well there, Zinchenko. So we do have players that can fill in that role. But for me, I think it'd be really good to have him. I don't want us to rush him back because that could cause another injury. But you, John, what do you make of him? If you come back, how much of an impact do you think he would make?
You mean Timber, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. He plays at Ajax. He's a steady player. He's quick. He tackles well. And yes, he's had that unlucky of injury. He's been out for quite a long time. And you know what? Like I said, don't rush him back. But he's solid. He can play right back, left back. He plays inside the defense as well. And you know what? He just defends properly. I like him. I like him a lot. And I don't think he'll play Saturday, in my opinion. I really don't. But I think he's going to go for the same team. I really think he's going to go for the same side, Arteta. And I like Timber. 6'1". Yeah, he's a good player. And he needs to come, ease him back in. This game against Newcastle is going to be very tough for him.
Yeah, I think I don't really know when he is set to be back. I know people have said around March time, so he probably will play a few games before the end of the season. But I do think there's no need to kind of rush him back now when we kind of have players that can fill in that role. And I think next season will definitely be a big season for him. Anthony, hello, Anthony. Hope you're okay.
Big up, Anthony.
Big up yourself. Big up Sophie and John going 3-1 Arsenal.
Anthony, I do like you, man. I respect you, but 3-1 to Arsenal. I like you, Anthony.
I don't think
Anthony,
it will be 3-1.
I love your best man, but
I don't think. I think it'll be quite a close game in a result. I think it could be something like a 2-1 Arsenal. I think it's going to be tough. What are your score predictions for the game, John? What are you thinking?
I'll tell you what, the way you're playing in a minute, you're scoring goals for fun. Is it 15 goals in 4 games? Something like that?
Yeah, it's something crazy like that.
and we conceded 20 goals in 7. So it seems to be our back four needs to really fix up. We haven't got the quickest at the back four, to be fair. I just hope we don't get ripped a good one. But for me, big up to Gula Life, by the way. Big up to Shane as well. Shane's got a question as well. I'll come on to this question in a minute on Dan Burn, but for me, it doesn't look good. I mean, I'll be happy to take a draw. I'll be happy to take a 2-each draw, but for me,
Yeah.
my heart says Arsenal. Says a draw. My head's gonna say Arsenal, unfortunately, and I'm gonna go 2-1 to Arsenal. But we have got to defend properly because I tell you what, this team are quick. And Dan Burn needs to be dropped. Shane 100%. I mean, Dan Burn's the centre back, and he's having a hard time in a minute. And Eddie has to realise that he needs to be dropped because he cannot keep picking and playing a player whose confidence is quite low at the minute. Do you know what I mean? But he needs to be taken out of the firing line, bring Livermore in, and play him there. Trippier right back. I'll play Fabian Schär if he's fit, along with Botman. The three is going to be, I hope Willer comes back. I don't think he will. It's going to be the same Bruno, Lewis Miley, and Sean Longstaff. Up front, it'll have to be Gordon. It'll have to be Murphy. And it'll have to be Harvey Barnes. I'll drop Miggy for this game. I really would drop Miggy for this game for me because Miggy, I like him, but he's gone off the boil. He really has gone off the boil. So he needs to be dropped to the subs bench, even though Eddie loves him. But I'm going to say 2-1 to Arsenal, but I fear it's going to be worse.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know how it will go. I mean, I know we have done well, which does give us confidence, and we probably are we're probably the favourites going into the game. And if Newcastle do win, they'll start picking up form, hopefully, for you guys. But yeah, I think a lot of it depends on the lineup. I wonder how strong Arsenal will go out because we obviously have our game on Wednesday. But I think for Arsenal, at this moment we can't really lose any games because I know Man City have got a game in hand, but we're 2 points behind Liverpool, and if Liverpool slip up, then if they drop a few points, then we can obviously overtake. But it is a very long season, so I do think Newcastle have really got to get a result in this game because it is a massive game. I know last season it probably felt bigger because you guys were top four, you were really trying to stay there, and now the season you have obviously dropped a little bit. But I still think you could get that 6th place and get Europe, but it's really gonna be a difficult one. And Anthony said 21 goals in 6 games. It's really crazy with Arsenal because before the break I was really concerned about us. I was concerned, that we just weren't gelling as much, and it was quite worrying. Like, I know I have said this, like you've said, John, that Arsenal do need a striker, and I've said, we need one, but I also felt like the players we had are able to score the chances that we have, because these players, look at Martinelli, Saka, Trossard, they're good enough to take these chances, and now that the form has picked up, we're really starting to see that. But for you, as like someone outside of Arsenal, from the players so far this season, who would you say has impressed you the most?
I've got to say Declan Rice in midfield. I think he's been fantastic. He really, really has. I like William Saliba. I rate this guy, and Gabriel as well. Those two are absolutely fantastic at centre of defence. They know how to defend properly. For me, the midfield, I said definitely Trossard has improved a lot. Martinelli, I quite like him as well. And, he's not scored enough goals, but my God, his work rate is absolutely amazing. It really is. And I do like Saka as well. When he's on it, he is on it. I tell you what, Dan Burn's going to have a hard time. If he plays on Saturday, and Saka's going to have it on toast every single time. And up front, for me, Jesus, I don't know if he's fit enough yet. I don't know. But Eddie Nketiah, for me, your defense in trouble. Nketiah's in the room. Yeah. And for me, people are saying that Newcastle should be getting him as well. And I'm not sure if we'll take him, man. Go and get Nketiah for Newcastle United, yeah? But you'd be happy with that, wouldn't you, Sophie? Newcastle came and thing, right?
You know what? I was thinking about, I do think Eddie will leave Arsenal this summer because he's not played many minutes recently, and he comes off the bench for like 10 minutes. And I just agree with this comment. First of all, I think with the league, I've said we can't win with Jesus and Nketiah because Jesus is a talented player, but his injuries as well doesn't help. And I don't think Nketiah, we have tried with him. He's signed a new deal a little while ago, and he was really doing well last season when Jesus got injured. But I just don't think he's able to help us win that league. What do you think, John?
I got kind of Thomason. I have to agree with him. I mean, you're not going to win a league with Jesus and Nketiah up top. There's just no way. Nketiah should be Nketiah now, because he's not gonna win the title. That guy is so inconsistent. I know he's a lovely lad, but I wouldn't have him at Newcastle United. I'm sorry, I wouldn't have him. Out of the two, just Jesus, because there's a work rate, and our Newcastle fans will love his work rate. You know what I mean? I think he'd be our at Newcastle Jesus. Would I take him? I probably would for that. Yeah, but is he going to get 20 goals? That's another question. But for me, we should be looking at the big ones as well. But you need an Ivan Toney, or you get a world-class striker.
I really want Ivan Toney. I mean, in January, I wanted him. Man. But I knew it wouldn't realistically happen because of him just getting back playing football again. But I definitely think the summer will really help. I know we've mentioned a bit about Saka versus Dan Burn.
God, no, don't. I love Dan Burn. He's a centre back, not a left back. Eddie, do not pick Dan Burn. Livermore. I even play him with Kraft there, to be fair. I'd rather play him with Kraft there rather than Dan Burn. Take him out the firing line. Look, he got absolutely spun by Semenyo on Saturday. He got absolutely ripped by Benny from Luton, yeah? And he got ripped by the ballers as well, Elanga as well. The equalising goal, right? He was 7 yards ahead of Elanga. Morgan Gibbs played that ball, right? And then Elanga still caught up with him. But I'll tell you something now, right? I mean, he needs to be dropped, because if he's not dropped sooner rather than later, then I social love Eddie, but he needs to be questioned about that decision alone.
I think I agree. I do think, depending on Arsenal's lineup, I think whoever we have, I think it would be quite difficult for him to manage the pace of the likes of the Saka or Martinelli. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Guna for Life says, love the stream. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's really fun. Eddie is just not good enough. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are sort of afraid to say if players are good enough. I personally think Eddie's a good player, but I don't think he's able to get us like a title. I don't think he's at that level, unfortunately. I know people have said he's a championship player at best, which I think, I don't know, I kind of see him in the Premier League, seeing maybe like West Ham maybe, but I don't think I don't think he can really get us to where we need to be. Yeah, like you said, he won't get us 20 goals. He's not able to do that, unfortunately. No. Tony, Osman, Isaac, Vlahovic, let's get one of them in the summer. I don't see us winning either. Arteta better win one of them, otherwise next season he has to deliver. Yeah, with Arteta, I know we spoke about it before, but do you think, this season it's going to be interesting to see how it goes? But say next season, if we didn't win anything, do you think questions should be asked around Arteta? Because we haven't really won anything for a little while.
For me personally, if I was an Arsenal fan, right? If I was an Arsenal fan, I'm going to be honest, right? I know go upset you, Sophie, right? But 8 points clear, going to Anfield, 2 goals up, drew 2-2. 2 goals up against West Ham. You didn't win that game, drew. Southampton at home, right? 2-0 down, and then you managed to draw 3s each, yeah? And you got beat off Forest, you lost to Man City. And for me, if I was an Arsenal fan, right, I'm sorry to say this, but I just don't think he's the man. I really don't, because if he doesn't win you a title this season, I think you need to move him up and get an elite manager to come in and take over Arsenal. Arsenal's a massive club, right? Mm-hmm. And I want you to win the title, Sophie. I want you to win the title, right? Because your club are a fantastic club, yeah? I mean, for me, I would have gone for a bigger name. And that's the truth. I mean, Arteta, I just don't think he's going to get you over the line or winning the big one. You know what I mean? And that's, sorry to say, it's just my opinion, yeah? I mean, you look at Thomason's comments, right? The managers you would get, the likes of Zidane, Ancelotti, Simeone. For me, personally, I would have gone for Simeone.
Yeah.
Simeone for me. Simeone. Yeah. I think he'll win you a trophy here, and I think he'll do really well for you guys, I mean, the football ain't going to be great, but what he'll do for you, he'll keep the back four tight, and then going forward, he'll defend well, and you score some goals under him. He does play good football, but a lot of people say he don't.
Yeah.
What's your take? Do you think, in your opinion, Arteta's got to win you a title this season?
I think for me, last season was so good, like we've mentioned about going for the league, and it takes me a while to get that belief. I always do have hope when I'm watching football, even when we're losing. I'll always have a bit of hope we can do it. So last season, it took me a while to believe because I've never seen Arsenal win the league, and I just thought, like, is this really going to happen? And I thought it is going to happen. It's going to be our season, because there were times where we were like 10 points ahead of Man City, and it felt like really good. So this season, I did expect us to go again, and I know we still are in the title race, but the difference is last season we were the team. People were trying to catch up with us, and we're catching up with the other teams like Liverpool, Man City. So it's a difficult question, because I do see other things other than the success. I do see how he has changed the club, and I think at this moment in time, I believe he is a brilliant manager. But I'm just trying to figure out in my head if, like you've mentioned, is he able to get us over the line? Is this how far he can take us, or can he take us further? And I think for me, I'm sort of like, I'm trying to figure it out and watch how Arteta's doing, because I know at the start of the season when we were really struggling, I have seen, his substitutions, his, management. I have thought, I'm not, a football manager. I'm not an expert the way he might be, but
of course you are, Sophie. You're the expert.
I'm not no football manager, but the simple things, like when he was bringing Martinelli on in like the 88th minute, Smith Rowe, and now I'm looking at it, I understand why Smith Rowe didn't get many minutes, because he got injured again, but I think I'm happy right now, and if we compete at the end of the season, if we're like a point behind the Man City, it will be a bit devastating, but I'll look at that and think we've really done the best we could. And obviously the injuries, you cannot blame Arteta for that, because it happens.
It does, yeah.
Thomas Partey, when he is in this team, we are a different Arsenal. Like, I think he's up there with Rodri, so he's that good. So I think it's obviously a difficult question, because we need success, and this season especially we need it, and we really could. We still could go on and win it. But I look at Man City's bench and I'm like, it's an absolute joke. Their squad they have, it's just so unfair.
Exactly. I mean, look, you've got some good players coming off the bench as well, for me as well, Arsenal, but I think you need to beef it up a little bit more in the summer. I mean, he loves to buy young players, Arteta. He loves to buy young players and just get up to speed, set round, But saying that, you've got Mark Kudus as well. Don't know where he is. Is he on loan or not? He was on loan at Norwich, am I right?
Yeah, I think he might have gone back to the club that we bought him from. So it's literally a waste of money.
You paid a bit of money for this guy as well. Do you know what I mean? But crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. But at the end of the day, and another thing is as well, I think since Arteta's taken over, I think he only won the FA Cup since he's been there, and that's it.
Yeah, do you know what I've noticed as well? I know this season you get unlucky with, teams you get in, like you've got Blackburn, you can get easier fixtures, and we were just unlucky to get Liverpool, and for me, we were the better team if we took our chances. But
it's true.
Do you know what I do wish we would do more? I think with the FA Cup, I just wish that we could get, quite far in it. Say if we got to a semi-final, I feel like I just want us to get to those finals, semi-finals, compete. I know in the league we have been doing that, and the league is a very, it's a long time, and it's good that we are up there. But I just feel like another the League Cups. I know they're not a Premier League, they're not a Champions League, but it's a trophy, and I think I just want us to win success. I'm just tired of it, really.
I do as well. I mean, we haven't won a trophy since 1969, a domestic trophy since 1955. That's a long down time. I'm 54, and I can't wait till I'm 60, 61, 62, 63. And by the way, I don't look my age, by the way.
I was going to say, you don't.
Man,
yeah, you don't
man,
look your
alive,
age
man.
at all.
I mean, I wish I was Arteta's age, I'm 40, but there you go.
You know what makes me laugh about Arteta? You
Yeah,
look
man.
at pictures of him, like, I don't know, when he was playing, his hair has not changed at all. And like, what gels are you using?
I know. I mean, people say he's the best looking Spaniard around.
Yeah, I mean that's the song, isn't it? It's quite funny, but
Best looking Spaniard
do you know
about,
what?
Go on.
This comment is quite an interesting one, because I think with Guendouzi, I was happy him going, because I do think he loved Arsenal. He was very talented, but I think he had a few attitude issues. So I was personally okay with that. Now, Balogun, I feel like he had so much potential. And when we were needing a striker, we've sold him. And I just feel like, I know we have needed money to obviously buy other players, but I look at that one as well, and I just feel like, and Pepe as well. Pepe for me was a fantastic, talented player, but he was very inconsistent. Like he wouldn't really turn up the way Trossard does every game. But we have obviously made a lot of mistakes, a lot of good signings. I know the Ramsdale one as well. We are, he's not really Arsenal, really. I see him going in the summer. And I think with how it's going, we might need to just make money from him and move on, which is sad that football is like that, because Ramsdale, we built this great connection with him. But for you, like as someone outside of Arsenal, with, since Arteta's came here, the signings he's brought in, do you feel like he's really good at, finding the right signings, him and Edu, with the job that they're doing?
For me, I mean, they work as a team as well, and they do get some good players coming through. But he's also they want to gaffs as well. But you know what? I mean, I think Ted's just lost by young players, and when he came in, you got players like Pepe, that wasn't the signing. Guendouzi wasn't the signing. Balogun, I'm not sure if that was the signing or not, but he scored 4 goals in the French league with Monaco and 1,070,000 appearances. So he sold for something like 35 million quid. And at the minute, he might have made the right decision there in a minute, but I don't think he gave Balogun a chance. I think he would have done all right. But for me, I think he's on the hunt for more players, I'm sure. And he wants a striker, but he hasn't. Since he's come at the club, if my memory serves us correctly, I think he's only signed 2 strikers since he's come to the club. Am I right? He's only signed 2 strikers. Jesus is one of them.
Yeah, I think for me, like, I do think we need to bring other players in. I think with Jesus, I can't actually remember the price we paid for him, but I'm thinking maybe Arteta and Eddie were hoping he would have probably, scored a bit more goals. I think Jesus is a good player. Like, I'm happy with him right now.
Yeah.
But as Tosman mentioned, we do need someone else in the Nketiah. But I think it's quite interesting with that, because we have got a striker, but we've not really got enough. But I know obviously Liverpool have some great players, and Man City do as well. So it is definitely going to be tough at the end of the season. And I did want to talk about this one as well. Lee said the Champions League could be on. Arsenal have beat Man City, and the only other elite team is Madrid. I think for me, Arsenal it's going to be interesting with the Champions League, because a lot of it will depend on our draws. If we get a bit of luck, Bayern Munich are obviously, at a stage now where they're dropping off a little bit. They're turning them to Tottenham. They're literally
Harry Kane is turning Bayern into Tottenham.
Literally, they're falling apart. Like, it's weird watching it, because like now Kane has left Spurs. I don't mind him now, and I genuinely want him to have some success. But with Arsenal, we never know. We could get them in the draw. I know we've got Porto, but like Lee said, I think, we've showed that we can beat Man City, and we've beaten Liverpool this season. So I think we've just got to really give it a good go. I know in recent years we did kind of embarrass ourselves with our performances, but this season, what have you kind of made, of Arsenal within the Champions League? Because we did quite well in the group stages. We obviously got a lot of points in it.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Champions League is getting tougher now. You've got Porto. I mean, I think Real Madrid is going to win it this season. I really do think Real Madrid's going to they're going to win it this year. I mean, people say Man City, but if you write off Real Madrid, then I'm sorry, then these people are just absolute muppets. Yeah, don't ever write Real Madrid. That Ancelotti is still an elite manager. Let's get it right there. If it's available, I have him at Newcastle tomorrow. No question about that. He's an elite manager. And he'll walk into Newcastle and he'll get the players that he wants, and we'll probably win the title in the first season. Ancelotti's first season. I'm going to be bold in that as well. But it's good competition there. Inter Milan, I wouldn't write them off. Neither on the Simone Inzaghi. I think that Simone Inzaghi, I love Italian football. He is brilliant. Plays a back three. They got Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram up front. Those two are dangerous as well. And Pavard as well. To right wing back as well. He can play in the back three. He plays in the back three as well. I mean, unless Dumfries plays there as well. I wouldn't write him off. But Bayern Munich got off the ball. 3 defeats in a week. They lost to Bochum yesterday. And Tuchel's under big pressure. They won't sack him because they've got an inexperienced president at that club who hasn't got a clue. They don't want to sack Tuchel yet. But my understanding is, I think it could be the end of the season since they get rid of him. Leverkusen is 8 points ahead of them. Yeah, that's too much of a gap in the Bundesliga. Xabi Alonso has done a wonderful job at that football club. He really has. Yeah, and I think now, for me, I mean, I can see it getting to the quarterfinals, even the semis. Depends who you draw against. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very interesting.
I think for me, if we got to semi-finals, I'd be quite happy with that. I know we obviously want to win it, but I think we have to be realistic at the fact that it's our first season back in the Champions League for I think it might have been 5. It's been so many seasons without it, and I wouldn't want to be in the Champions League and not be ready for it, because I know us maybe a few seasons ago, if we were in that competition, we would probably get battered. It would be pretty embarrassing. So I'm happy we've got a team good enough to compete, but I think it's going to be interesting, really. I'm with you on this one. I think, I think with Bellingham, he's such a joy to watch, and I know how much he's done at Madrid and Man City. Milan, I think there's quite a few teams you could say, but I personally see us getting to a semi-final, and I think maybe next season, if we were able to win it, that would be great. But I did want to ask you a bit about Havertz, because he's obviously been a signing where I think he's starting to grow on people now. I know Arsenal fans. He obviously scored a great goal against Burnley, and he obviously, I think I've said he needs to, score more. I know he does impact in the game without scoring. So he obviously has cost 65 million, and a lot of fans, including myself, have probably questioned why haven't we bought a striker in for that amount of money. And I do see him as a sort of a project signing, like Arteta wants to, make how he changed Xhaka, how he made him a better player. But for you, Havertz so far, from what you've seen, what have you made of him?
My opinion of Havertz, right? I mean, 65 million quid on Kai Havertz, yeah? If you add another 15 on top, that would have got you Ivan Toney. I mean, that signing, I couldn't understand for the life of me why he bought this guy. Don't know. I think the guy's, in my opinion, I think he's misunderstood.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, right? I mean, he's starting to get better. He's starting to get there, but it's taken some time. Yeah. I would have not signed Kai Havertz at all whatsoever, to be fair. Didn't need to. He didn't have to. He needed a striker. And your fans can't understand why he bought Kai Havertz. I just don't get it at all. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's okay. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's that good. But for me, I just don't rate the guy. I think he should have been sent off against Newcastle, with that tackle on Sean Longstaff, he should have gone off for that, or for the referee bottled this. Because I tell you now, had that been Jordan or Bruno G, then they would have been sent. They would have been sent off 100%. But for me, it's getting there. Yeah, start to score some goals, and what can I say? I mean, it's taking time. Let's say we have a poor game on Saturday, you know.
You know what?
But what's the luck? He'll probably score against us.
It's going to be interesting. I think I'm more intrigued about the lineup situation because in the midfield, I think Jorginho was doing really well. And I know he got dropped. I think he did have a little injury anyway. But yeah, I think for me, like going into the game, I think Havertz did score a good goal. And I think he needed to, I think for a player like how much he has cost, I think I would probably want to see 15 to 20 goals a season, like so far. I think he's adjusting. I think he's a good player. I just think we need more goals because it has been a lot of money, especially with the FFP situation. We've been struggling, about that. But I definitely think we have potential to, for him to be an even good signing. This one, Ancelotti will go to Newcastle. We will get Simeone.
I doubt it.
I don't see Arteta like leaving Arsenal for a very long time. I know there are rumours about him going to Barcelona, and where did that even come from?
Whoever believes that must be mad. Seriously, man. I mean, the thing is, the end of the day, right? I mean, Barcelona at the minute, it's not the club to go in a minute because then they got like money problems as well and in huge debt. So Xavi's going to be on his way at the end of the season because he announced it as well. Whoever goes to the Barca, it's got a big job on their hands, man. But for me, I can't see Arteta going to Barca. He loves Arsenal too much and he wants to do well. He's got a project to do at Arsenal and he's going to finish the project of Arsenal by the looks of it, yeah. Personally, I mean, he's got to win the title first, by the way. But Ancelotti, he's not going to Newcastle. He's signed a new deal with Real Madrid. So he's there for another 2 more years. And Simeone, I mean, I can't see him leaving Atletico Madrid, even though he's threatened to leave there a couple of times. Atletico Madrid would never sack him. No way. But I think Arsenal should go for him. If I was an Arsenal fan and Mikel decides to go, that's the match I take. And Simeone, I mean, if we're looking for an elite manager, I'd take Simeone all day long. Trouble is, he does not want to speak English. He doesn't want to learn English. That is the thing.
Yeah, I think with Arteta, I reckon he'll be here for, I wouldn't say 10 years, but I do see him being at Arsenal for quite a while. I know he has been here, since kind of COVID happened, and it has been, I think I'm right in saying maybe 4 years around that time. But I reckon he'll want to achieve things before he does leave. And I think we've really got to win titles soon. I think this season, it could be anyone's, like we've said. It's really difficult, even as an Arsenal fan. I don't know if I 100% think Arsenal will win because I know when we get so far, we kind of can't get across that line. Like I know the season we tried to get top 4. Spurs got it over us. I know the league, Man City. So I definitely think we've really got to give it time, really. This season, I think we've got to see how it goes. But it has been really lovely to chat with you today, John. And I've really, really enjoyed this, and I hope you all in the chat have. John, thank you for coming on today.
No problem at all. Before I go, shall I give my give a shout outs on the socials? Is that all right?
Yeah, of course.
But I know you got a lot on. If you do find me on John Sinclair TV on Twitter, on Instagram, you can find us on YouTube as well. And you can subscribe to my channel on John Sinclair TV. And if you just click on subscribe, hit the subscribe button as well. And help my numbers grow as well. Got over 7,000 subscribers as well. So I'm really pleased with that as well. And also as well, I've got a show coming up tomorrow. I'll be doing Let's Talk Football show. I've got Harry Scarf, a Tottenham fan. I've got Emma, United fan. We're going to talk about his team. We're going to talk about Dan Ashworth as well with Emma. I'm doing a match preview with you on Thursday at 7 o'clock.
Looking forward to that.
And I'll be going to the Emirates on, thank you, I'm going to the Emirates on Saturday night as well for the match as well, doing my match day vlog. So I'm going to do my vlog, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm going to look around, hopefully look around the stadium as well, get some views as well. And you know what it is, Soph? I'm so buzzing.
Yeah, and you know what? It's really good to see you get 7K. You'll be at 10K soon, and you're doing an amazing job. I know you put a lot of work into your video, so I will link your channel. So please do subscribe to John Sinclair TV. It's an incredible channel, and I'll be on there on Thursday, and it'll be so lovely to chat more about your club, about Arsenal. So I'm looking forward to that very much. But to those that are watching this, don't forget to hit the like button for me. Do subscribe to my channel. And I shall see you all very soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.